Good day. Welcome to AYI Training Center. I'm Emmanuel Lukombo. This is a video of AYI project, the coding video 2 of teaching. We apologize for the delays due to some inconvenient on earth issues. So we have some delay, but we will have to catch up to finish the teaching videos as promised. We will continue, and the old teaching video will be uploaded on the coming days. If you haven't watched a previous video where we discuss about how to design a calculator, so you can go online and watch the videos. So on this video, we're gonna create an auto slide images. As you can see, I'm using design this image on Photoshop. So it's the video that focus to give the administration of South Africa 9 provinces, so the 8 metropolitan and 44 district, 205 local municipality and 4,381 wards. I'm going to use CSS, HTML, and JavaScript to animate these images as a slide. So, the first thing when I start, I'm going to create a folder. So that's the first thing. And secondly, meantime, but if you want to design this specific project, so you have to download these images on our website. You tap AYI.co.za. So you open the website for AYI. Here you go to project. So we will design more project as ongoing. There are more projects. There will be website design project, graphic design project, video design project. As you can see, there's only one line, so that's the one that is ready, and the other one are not ready. We're busy developing all those course video. Click the learning coding. So on the learning coding, then you're gonna see the current video that's there. This is a pre video 1 we did, and the video 3 and 2 will be uploaded today. So you go to the video 2, which is the what we're currently designing. So you're downloading the province image used here. So you just select here, and this image will download. As you can see, I'm downloading here. So you're gonna have this image I'm using down here. I'm using a Visual Studio Code. File, open the folder. I'm gonna open the folder to say auto image slider. The first page I'm gonna call it slider.html. Second page, slider.css, and the third page, which I also got slider.js. So when you open the third page, you open the HTML one. So before I continue, I'm gonna go take the image that I download. There is an image I download. I'm gonna copy this image. I'm gonna come to this folder, and I'm gonna paste it here. Open your zip, just go right click, tap to the specific folder. The easiest way, what I'll do, I'm just going to drag it and put it inside the same folder. So when I open, there's an image we use in the project. I'm going to open the HTML. I'm going to tap exclamation mark, press enter. Then I'm going to tap the title for the project, AYI project, and say coding video 2 of teaching, a slideshow, and open that page and see our project coding video 2 of teaching. So I need a div, and then this div, which is the main div, I'm gonna give it a class name dot my. Then I close the div, a bracket. So the first thing I need is a header. I need another div. Then this div, I'm gonna open the bracket here. This div will have a class name container. Then I'll close this div. Then I need h1 tag, and I press enter, and this is what I will have. Now in the first one, I'm gonna tap the title of our program, which is YI teaching. So I can also add, which is slideshow. Then on the H1 here, as you can see, the first image describes the country, which is South Africa. So it says the primary administrative division of South Africa are the 9 provinces, and the secondary division are the 8 metropolitans and the 44 districts, and that divide into 205 local municipalities and further divide into 43 H1 wards. Administrative division of South Africa. I put first. So the first division, it's a 9 province, and the second division is divided by metropolitan, and then the 44 district, and the 44 district are further divided by 205 municipality, and then the municipality are further divided by 4,300 H1 word. This you download it from here, but let's say you have issue of downloading here, you can also get this image on our Facebook and also Instagram. We will upload this image in Instagram and Facebook as well, Twitter. HTML, I'm gonna link my CSS. So I'll come here, enter on the head, I tap link, and then what I'll link now here, slider and CSS as well. I'm gonna come inside the HTML, inside the body. I'm gonna link the script. So I'm gonna say script, and then I'm gonna put a source. The source of the script, it's let me put a slide.js. Okay, now so far I'm gonna save this. Now this is we done with. Now I'm gonna open my CSS page and I'll split the 2 pages. So this side I can open my HTML. Now the first thing I'm gonna call the body, because I wanna just put the background color as all our video. Padding 0 pixel, and margin also put 0 pixel. Background color, the black. Display, flexible align item in the center. Justify content in the center, can be stabilized. I'm gonna put height and VH. This is what we have. Dot main class width, put 940 pixel. And the height 630 pixel. Background, we're gonna use the image, background image, and then we're gonna use the URL. What I'll do now here, I'm gonna go to the folder and then rename this folder. I'm gonna just rename it. Just name it mine. Just remove the image away. Just save one name. It'll be much easier to go back on my CSS. So I'm gonna come here and then delete everything. If I say slash mine, automatically it's gonna pick up this. Then we're looking for the image called South Africa, and then we're gonna remove the first slash, and that image is inside. Then background size, and we say it must be cover the whole place. So I'm gonna set the flag one, not the this one. So I'm gonna say per image is one, a flag, and remove the per array. Put border radius. So we put 20 pixel. And then secondly, border to be 5 pixel, and then the color to be white, and solid to be solid. That's view. Okay, I'm gonna copy all this, copy and then paste it, because we want that thing to be display flexible, and then align in the center and justify content in the center, but the flexible must be direction. We're going to send the flex directions to be column. We don't need to justify, we just need then now you're going to call the header mine and the header. Okay, the mine, it's a class. Font size 25 pixel, margins of 5 pixel, color white. Because that is fun. That is the first group. The container div dot container. Now copy this. The width of the container div will be 900 pixel, and then the height will be 500 pixel, and the border radius, we put the border radius we put also 20 pixel, and then we can also put overflow hiding. So anything that will be overflow on this, it must be hidden. So that is the first thing we do. Put a background so that we can fix the bottom one. Background color, I'm just gonna put maybe, let me just put blue. So that is what we have. Now just for me, I can be able to fix this bottom one. Then when I finish, I will remove that background color. So I'm just gonna copy this. Everything is easier. Copy this code and come on the bottom here and then paste. Now this is gonna be mine h1. So we're gonna change this to h1 because we're calling this text. So this text, the font size, I put it 15 pixel. The margins, I'm gonna put 10 pixel. Then the color, I leave it as color white. So now this is what we have. I can also put a background color around them if I want, but it's fun like this. HTML to do the images. So the image will be inside the container. I'm gonna put enter, open the container, everything will be done inside. That means on the CSS will come back here between the container. So this mine h1 will be at the end. So this is where we're gonna put our CSS, and this is where we're gonna do our images, all the information we need to do now here. So if we look at on this original, we have these buttons here, radio button. These are radio buttons. So I'm gonna first create this radio button because we need this radio button to come on the bottom to display this number or display the name, the number of the province. So the first thing, as I say, I will need 10 images. So I'm gonna put a div, and the class I will name it cover dot cover. Then I close the tag. Then I put input, put element, press enter, and then this is what I have. So I'm gonna put this thing on the bottom and then open here. So inside here, the tab of the input is maybe radio, and the name, I'm gonna name it name equal to radio, but I'll put it radio buttons, and I put BT, and then I'm also gonna give it a ID. The ID name, I'm gonna call it radio 01. Now I'm gonna copy, that's why I make it easy. I don't wanna use the shortcut, it's gonna be confusing. Copy this tag and paste it 9 times because we have the first one. So I'm gonna come bottom here, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now just go back to this, replace this 2, 3, 4, 9, and 10. So now that's the first thing you do. Now we're gonna, in this div, this cover, you're gonna have to put the image, but each image will come with its own div. So the first thing you will do, we're gonna create a image, the div dot with a class name slider, then close the tag, a image element. Now we're gonna multiply this by 10. We need 10 of this. So we multiply this by 10, press enter. Then you're gonna have the 10 tags that will come with the image. So we have each one got its own div. Let's just split it so that we don't get confused. So we go to the first one. So the first one, it's the one we say slider. I'm gonna make it open like this. So on the alert, you just tap image. But when you go to the source and you put slides, go to the mine, the first one, you're gonna use the one we say South Africa. Just remove the slash away. Everywhere there's an alert, okay, you might just tap image the image. The second one will be Eastern Cape, or just say E, and then we go to image, we say Eastern Cape. We're gonna follow alphabet. So the Eastern Cape, that's the province images, and the third one, which is gonna follow by Free State. Free State, remove your slash. And the fourth, we're gonna go to Free State. I think it's gonna be KwaZulu-Natal, no, Gauteng. I think the system also pack as an order already. Just follow the system. You're gonna see whenever you enter, when you click, it's given order, and just follow KwaZulu-Natal. You take the image as is. Then after KwaZulu-Natal, we're gonna have Limpopo. After Limpopo, we're gonna have Mpumalanga. After Mpumalanga, we're gonna have Northwest. After Northwest, we're gonna have Northern Cape, and lastly we're gonna have Western Cape. So now we're all inside the cover here. So what we're gonna do now here, we're gonna create the label of this. I'm gonna create a div, and then a div. Now this div, I'll give it a class name dot navigation manually navigation mn. Then I close the tag. I'm gonna put a bracket. Then I'm gonna create a label. Tap a label. This label will have a class name dot manually button BT. I put BT manually buttons. That's going to be the class for the minute. Then I'm going to go outside. I'm going to multiply this by 10. Now this is what I have. The first thing, I have a navigation manually class div that control all of them. Then I have the first label finish here, and the second, and then there's a main div. So what for this now? Yeah, so yeah, this label, it's for this region. So it's for this region 1. So the first one is for region 1. I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna put region 1, and then the second one will be region 2, paste region 2. The third one we're gonna put region 3, region 9, region 10. Then we're gonna display. As you can see on the view here, the one I display the province, so display the name South Africa, and then the one number 1 province 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just put the P on the first one. I will display P, and this one will display in order 1, 2, and then with 3, 4, 5, and 9 province. And I'm gonna display the one that automatically like display South Africa, and then the name of each province. So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna say div dot the class. I'm gonna call it a navigations auto then I close the tag, and I'm gonna put the bracket. So I need a div, and the div will have a class name. I'm gonna put dot. We'll get a class name dot auto, then button T. Then I'm gonna put a dollar symbol, bracket, multiply, count them by one, and then we're gonna open and multiply by 10. Press enter, and this is what you're gonna have. So you go to auto button 1, auto button 2, auto button 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this we're gonna replace it by the text because I don't want to display number. I just put there. So the first one we need South Africa, and the second one we need we need Eastern Cape. And then the third one, so you write according to the way you put your images. So the Eastern Cape, and then the third one is the Free State. Now it's gonna be the, so you can see all of them are under the cover. So this is the navigation auto, and is a navigation manually. The HTML, we're done for the HTML. You can have a look if maybe whenever you continue, if you want to make a mistake, the first part and the first group, it's the header, and then we go to the slider that cover the images, and then we go to the navigation manually, and we go to the navigation auto, which is our last part. So now we're gonna go to the CSS container. I did put a blue color, background blue color. So I'm going to remove that color background because it's not, but I want to remove it. So dot cover, we're going to choose the word. Now we're going to make it a big word because the image that we have, we're going to put it percent. That if we put 100%, because our container have 900 pixel as the width, so we don't want all the image to display at the same time. We want only one image per one image because we have 10 image. So if one image take 100%, then the 10 image will be 1000%. Because if I put 100%, I'm only displaying one image. All of them will fit in one place. But if I say 1000, it's like I'm display the 10 images at the same time. But now, because the container is hiding the overflow, only one of 100% will display, not all of them. But the height, I will keep the same height as the container because I don't want to be bigger. I don't want to be smaller than the place. Only the width, which I just want to display one image at the end because I've got 10 images. Display flex direction. It must be in the row, otherwise not a display. So I'd say, then I'm going to go to cover input. Cover input, it is these buttons. The cover input, these buttons. So I'm going to call the cover. Let me just copy all this. Copy and paste. I'm going to add input here. Cover input. So I'm going to say display none. I'll say display none. So that means do not display this radio. So this radio is not displaying at all. So we're done for this now here. Now you're going to go to the image now, which is the slider. Slider. Now on the slider, I'm going to put a width 10%. So if I say width, this 10%, So it's like 10% of the 1000, which is 10% for the 1000, it's 100%, or it's 100%, it's the view of the container. So if I say 100%, which means it will display the 1000%, too much. If I say 50%, it will take 500. So I say, no, just take 10% of 1000, which is 100%, automatically will be the same size with this one. Then I'm going to call transition to be 2 seconds. So that 10% transition, I put 2 seconds. Then we're done for slide now. So I'm going to copy this again. Just copy and go down. Now I want the slider image. So on the slider image, now this is where I'm going to put the size of the image. Now my size of the image, I'm going to put the same size with this on the container. So I'm going to copy this, copy. I'm going to come to slide image and paste it. So what I did now here, I tell the system the image must be the same size with the container, which is the one displaying, but the container will not display the overflow, whereby the image are inside the slider and the sliders are inside the cover. The cover will display 1000 width of this view. But because of the 1000 view, because I got 10 images, that's how I got 100 by 10, it's 1000. So, but the slider will only take 10% of this 1000, which is 100%, and then we're going to have the full image displaying on the floor. So if I save and I go to my view, you're going to see the image, it's take the whole area as one images. Now the other image not displayed because we only have one image in the number one displaying the full images inside that view. Now we're going to call a navigation manually, which is this one. So I'm going to call this navigation, the label. Class, I put dot, manually. Position to be absolutely 100 pixel. And then I want to display them flex. Just find the content in the center. Put a margin top. Maybe put margin top maybe like 520 P1 to the labels that we did on the CSS, which is a manually button. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna say dot manually button. So then I'm gonna say want a border to be 2 pixels, and the color we want to say black. So we put the margin 40, padding, and border radius 100%, and the button manually, and we save. Now so far what you have, I think now we need to bring them up a little bit. It seems like the 420 was better. I put 520 on the margin top, and then save. And then so I'm gonna put cursor, pointer as well. The font size to be 10 pixels, and the color of the text we say white. Let me put this. Then I'm gonna put the width so that you can have a nice view. Width we put 12 pixels. And height also we put 12 pixels, so we can have a nice circle. Put color white, text align, and the center. So now that's the face part. Okay, now I'm gonna put a background color to this button color red. So I'm gonna go, and then we say background color red. Okay, that's a background color red. And then I'm gonna come back here. And then I'm gonna say dot manually buttons. Let me copy this. I'm gonna put to the over. Okay, so when I come inside here, semicolon over. Over color. I'm gonna put background color, maybe aqua color to red. So that's the over. I'm gonna call the radio, as in the beginning. I'm gonna call the ID for the radio. The ID that this is the ID, radio 1. This is the ID. I'm gonna put hashtag radio. And after radio, so the radio will check for us. The radio checked HTML. You come to the first image. The first image. So the first image div, we're gonna create. We're gonna add a new class name called manually. You can just give it manually. Any name, it's up to you. Manually M. So the purpose for this one is we're gonna use this to check. So if this is check, it must change the percentage. So we don't want to check the other divs. So we got 10 divs, but on here we're only checking the div 1, the div of the first image, which is the one displaying. Then we're gonna call that check for us the div manually. The open bracket, okay, because it's a class, so we're gonna have to put the dot, check for the div manually M. Okay, let's just make a gap here, manually M. So if it must be margin left, when I move from left, margin left must be 0%. Minus 0%. Save. So if I go to if I click here, okay, 0%, nothing's moving. So I'm gonna copy this code and paste. Now I'm calling the second label, which is the number 2. So the label allowed print, but it's calling the radio. So I'm gonna call it 2. So now I'm gonna say move minus 10%. So which means, because the 10% is one displaying the 10% of the image, we're taking it out of this 100%, which is make 100% of the view of the container. So we say move the 10% away minus the left side when this button is pressed too, so that the other image can come out. So I'm gonna save. So if I go to my refresh, the first one, nothing. The second one, it's move 10%, which is 100% of the container. So now you're gonna repeat the same thing for all of them. I'm just gonna copy paste 10 times, 8 times, because this is 1, 2. I'm gonna go second. So the first one, 10%, the second one is 20%, which is going to be radio 3. So move 20% away, which is going to be 200%. That's going to be radio 4. Then we go to minus 40. That's going to be radio 5, 7. Then we go to radio 8. And we go to radio 9, and we're gonna go to the last one. So that's gonna be radio 10. That's gonna be 90. Okay, so let me pack them nicely. So far we're done with our manually buttons. So if I click here, South Africa, if I put number 6, go to number 6, which is in Mpumalanga. If I go to the province 9, which is the Western Cape. If I go to province 3, which is Gauteng. If I go to province 6, which is gonna be Mpumalanga. So you can go to number 1, which is the Eastern Cape. You can go to 3, which is Gauteng, 2, Free State, and the P, it's a province, the South Africa. So now this is manually, you can finish. Now manually, now you want to run automatic. That's the time I'm going to use a JavaScript on the navigation manually. So the first, I'm going to copy all this. Copy this, and I'm going to come here. Let's move our this down and then paste them. So now this is navigation auto. We want to display absolutely 900 flexible, everything is similar to what you did. The only thing now we're gonna put 40. So now I'm gonna copy this again, because this is called the mind div. I'm gonna call the direct dev. So I'm gonna come here and then paste. So I'm gonna make a space here and say div. So now here I'm calling this straight from the countries. So I'm gonna come from the province names and close my tag. The border edges, I'm gonna put a border edges. So I want to look like a little bit round. I'll put the border edges 10 pixels. And also I want to put the background. I'm gonna also put a margins, so that they can have a margin between them. I put 22 pixels. Then I'm gonna have a padding 5 pixels, and then lastly I'm gonna have a transition, because I'm gonna use automatic transition at least 1 second. So I'm gonna put a color of the text to be white. At the same time, I'll display one by one automatically. So what I'll do now here, I'm gonna go and make the font size 0 pixel, because I don't want to view nothing at the moment. So everything disappear. Then I'm gonna create the same thing we did on manually, but this is gonna be automatic. So what I'll do, we're gonna call a radio checked. I'm gonna copy one of these here, and then I'm gonna come here on the bottom here, and then add paste it. So here the difference now here, we say we got a radio check, radio 1 checked, and dot. Now here we're gonna call a button 1. So we're gonna call face dot navigation auto. Then the button 1 must check, when they click the button, must check the mind div and then the auto button once. And then I also want to put dot auto BT1. So then what do we want to display now here? We want this, when it appears, we must display the background of that place. The background, I'm going to put maybe red. And then I'm going to put the font size. Font size, I'm going to put 8 pixels. I'm going to copy all this and paste it 10 times. So the first one I put color red, but the rest of them will be color blue. I'm gonna put color black color as a background. But the only thing change is to change, because this is gonna call it automatically to change the buttons. This is button 2. On the first one we call BT1, auto BT1, auto BT2, and just repeat the same thing, color change. So I'm gonna copy this and paste. Now this is going to be button 3, and as continue Just repeat the same thing, but only the first one, which will have a auto BT1, but the rest BT2, and 3, 4 as the numbers there, so that you can display this everything. Then from there, that's going to be the end of CSS. Now, because this is automatic, we're going to have to go to JavaScript or open our JavaScript page so that we can animate those texts automatically accordingly the things are in code. I'm gonna create a var, create content, and then I'm gonna assign it is equal to 1. Then I'm gonna create a set interval functions. So that's set interval function. I'm gonna create a function inside. I go functions, and there's a function. Open the function, and then open bracket of my functions and what my function must do. So I'm gonna say document right. Document dot get element by ID. Which ID? So my ID I want to create, which is a radio. I'm gonna go to my HTML. So when you come by a radio, there is a radio. I go to radio. So I'm asking to get the element by radio. There is the radio, but this radio have a number 1, 2 changing, 3, 4, 5. I say get the radio plus 1. So plus 1 because there's no gap. The concatenate with counter 1. So the counter is equal to counter 1. Now, when I'm going to increment the counter, then automatically like the radio, if the counter is 1, it's not get the radio 1. If the counter is equal to 2, it's gonna go to 2. If the counter go to 3, it's going to 3. So what I'll do now here, I'm gonna come down. It's 2. So we say dot checked equal. If it's true, then if you check is 2, then what must you do? Increment the counter. So we're going to increment this counter. You're going to see increment the counter, which is going to plus, then continue until then after. So we're going to put the conditions. If the counter is bigger than 10, because we got 10 images, bigger than 10, then what must I do? I'm going to put the bracket. So we want you to go back. The counter must go back to 1. Counter must be equal to back to 1. And a semicolon, and we're done. Now the only thing we're gonna do now here, we're gonna run the because we set the interval, we're gonna run the speed. How long must it? And we put 1 second first. I'm gonna put 1000. That is 1 second. I'm gonna save. As you can see, slow. What I'll do, I'm gonna go back. Let's put 2 seconds. I'm gonna put 2000 seconds, and let's check our CSS on the CSS. So you must fix your CSS. So we go to radio 3 because we only call the radio 1. I was copy paste mistake. Radio 1 to button 1, radio 2 to button 2, radio 3 to button 3, radio 4 to button 4, and radio 9, then radio 10. So that was a mistake. So and then you save your CSS. This is my CSS. Save my CSS. Then if I go to view the funnel, so you go to South Africa, Eastern Cape, Free State, Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Northern. So I can go to manually. If I click here manually, I go to that particular number. So this is number 3. If I go to Provent, I go to Provent here. That's manually. It's going to run automatic. I can go to number 9. Let's go to number 9. But now, can you see it's too fast? So I don't want to be too fast. I'm gonna go back to my CSS JavaScript and get more interval times. So currently my CSS have 22 seconds. So I'm gonna put about 5 seconds. You say 5 seconds because you need to allow someone to read. And I'm going to refresh. So that's 5 seconds. South Africa, Eastern Cape. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go to another one at 5 seconds. So now it's up to you now. Here you can control your speed. Just remember, 1 second is 1,000. 1 second is 1,000. If I want 10 seconds by each image, I'm gonna come here, put 10,000 and save. Now the 10 second, I'm gonna refresh. Use the 10 seconds, I'm gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the other one will go at 10 seconds. So now you can decide you want to put 10 seconds or 1 second, it's up to you. So all you need to do is to control your JavaScript. I think the easiest part on this project was a JavaScript. So now we came to the end. I'm going to go open the old pages from scratch. Now there's HTML. So let's say maybe you made a mistake somewhere. You can have a look on these pages. So this is the beginning. You pause and then you view. You pause and then you view. You pause and then you view. And then I'm gonna go to CSS. The CSS, that's the most they want to have more. Did they have more details compared to others? You pause, you view. You can pause, you view your program. Maybe you made a mistake somewhere. And lastly, the easiest part, it was the JavaScript, which we just animate one. So just one one functions, one set interval function we did. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please leave your comment. 2 of 20. From this video, you also learn how the 9 provinces of South Africa and the number of municipalities and the 44 districts. You can download these images or you can get it. Please don't forget to leave your comment and subscribe and let us know about this video. What can we do more and better this one?